Welcome back to This American Ride podcast, where we talk about issues that affect you, the average American. Starting off, though, where are we starting off? We just gone by this list that we have here.
Well, you can start off with that one that you liked.
Which one did I like? The DNA testing. DNA testing is I've written down here first used in a conviction in 1987, and it was used in England first before it was used here, and then it was used in Florida as the first state to get this guy named Tommy Lee Andrews, who broke into a woman's home and raped her. So that was the first application of solving a crime of DNA testing, and I feel like this is one of those things where so many TV and crime shows are based upon the DNA.
Yeah.
That, this isn't something that's that old.
No.
But
in DNA, I mean, I'm not a science nerd or anything like that. But DNA, I mean, we think about it as being used so heavily in criminal cases and things like that. But it has a lot more implications than that, right?
So, I mean, in my field, genetic testing can, can be early disease detection. There are versions of heart disease where if somebody in the family comes down and is diagnosed with a certain type of heart disease, we can go back and then do genetic, which is essentially DNA testing, to see if people have, that gene in their strain to make them more susceptible, to, say, sudden cardiac death. The other thing is there are cancer markers now. There's Alzheimer markers now, especially with women cancers. There are, markers in your genomes and your DNA to be able to detect and have early detection of some of these cancers so that you can increase your screening. I mean, that impact to me is just that's huge.
So huge in the medical world. It's allowed people to, the ancestry thing.
Most definitely.
It's huge in that, and people kind of finding out where they came from, or just finding out who their parents are, or siblings, or family members. That in the crazy world that we live in of the non-divorced families and whatnot being not as popular as it used to be. People don't know who their who their parents were, or father or mother, or this or whatever. And now that's had a huge effect on that. I mean, there's a whole industry just for that now,
based on
Ancestry.com. So
a whole mess crazy. Of online subscription based companies there.
Well, I mean, they've certainly found a way to monetize it.
Well, and what's interesting is some of that has been the source of litigation now, of people being able to, government entities being able to gain access to you submitting your DNA to some of those sites to see if they can find not only if somebody created a crime, because really the only way that you're going to have DNA stored is if there's been prior DNA logged. It's been in a national, what they call the CODIS database, and that is logged in there. And that's what they have access to. But now there is talk and there is legislation being brought about to have access to these, these DNA sites, to where maybe if they can't find the DNA of somebody who has actually committed the crime, or the DNA that they have collected from, say, a crime scene, they can find somebody related to them and track them down that way. That's insane to me. I don't think I'm in favor of that.
No, and I feel like that would quickly kill that industry. I mean, as soon as that starts if that actually started happening, then people are just not gonna,
I already don't want to do that.
I wouldn't do it for that. I mean
when
it originally came up, me and the wife both were like, I don't like that, because my DNA is now out there, available to some shady characters to get a hold of and do something with.
Yeah, I don't even want them.
Let alone the government.
Yeah, I mean, anybody. It's your DNA then only becomes as secure as whatever server it's on. And
we know how that goes.
And and we'll get into servers and stuff in a little bit in another topic. But Yeah, that to me, that does not make me comfortable. It just doesn't make me comfortable. So
I don't want to know my ancestry bad enough to give that up. No.
You afraid you come back as like Egyptian or Moroccan or?
No, I mean I don't really feel like I need to because my sister did that, and I mean mine has to be.
So you're good.
Basically, I mean I got all the information she got, so I would imagine we're the same.
Under the full assumption that you both have the same parents, and there's not a half parent in there somewhere, but who the heck knows?
I'm not super worried about it, and if there was, I probably don't want to know about it.
Don't want to know.
We're good.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, man. Is that you got anything else on DNA?
No, I mean, like I said, I'm not super, I don't know what's the word, like knowledgeable on it other than what we see on TV and obviously how it's affected, the whole, police and FBI and all that stuff and how they solve cases and whatnot. So obviously it's had a huge impact there. It's been able to, kind of correct wrongs as far as people being wrongly
accused.
Not just accused, but convicted.
Yeah.
It's overturned things in that way.
There's been over 3,000 people since Steve mentioned. I think 3,337 was the number that I saw that have had convictions overturned due to DNA evidence.
And that's a good thing, right? I mean,
it's not a bad thing.
You hate to think. I mean, the judicial system is certainly not perfect, and more than a couple people have, been wrongly convicted. So if you can correct that with DNA, that's a good thing.
If Andy Dufresne had DNA,
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Andy. He might not have been convicted of killing his wife, because I assume that he didn't, because that was a story. But
I assume that he did.
Yeah, did he? You think he did?
I think he did.
I don't know. Differences. Great movie, though.
I go back and watch it now.
Great movie. Really, really great movie.
Very good movie. I'm surprised you've seen it.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites actually.
Okay.
One of my favorites. Brooks Was Here. I mean, it's got some great parts.